The stadium lights cut through the darkness like searchlights hunting for greatness. Fourth quarter, 2 minutes left. The quarterback takes the snap, drops back, and suddenly the ground trembles. A force of nature in blue and red erupts from the defensive line, hands raised like thunder, eyes blazing with the fire of a warrior who refuses to quit. This is Bruce Smith, and this is the story of how a kid from Norfolk, Virginia, became the most feared pass rusher in NFL history. In the humid streets of Norfolk, Virginia, where military families and blue-collar dreams intersect, a young Bruce Smith was learning lessons that would echo through NFL stadiums for decades. The year was 1963, when Bruce was born into a world that demanded toughness from day one. His father, a man who understood the value of hard work, instilled in Bruce a work ethic that would become legendary. His mother provided the foundation of faith and character that would carry him through the highest peaks and deepest valleys of his career. Norfolk wasn't glamorous, but it was real. The kind of place where boys became men early, where respect was earned through sweat and determination. Young Bruce found his calling on the football fields of Booker T. Washington High School. At first, he was an overweight kid who was even cut from the JV team, but instead of giving up, he transformed himself. By his senior year, he had become a dominant force, a tall, athletic teenager who moved like a panther and hit like a freight train. Coaches saw something special in him, and Bruce discovered that his combination of size, speed, and relentless motor could devastate opposing offensive lines. But it wasn't just physical gifts that set Bruce apart. Even in high school, teammates noticed something different about him. When others got tired, Bruce pushed harder. When others complained, Bruce found solutions. When others celebrated victories, Bruce was already preparing for the next challenge. This wasn't just talent developing. This was a champion being forged. The college recruiters came calling, and Virginia Tech won the battle for Bruce's services. In Blacksburg, under the guidance of coaches who understood his potential, Bruce Smith began his transformation from promising high school player to unstoppable college force. The Virginia Tech Hokies had found their cornerstone, and Bruce had found his launching pad to greatness. College football had never seen anything quite like Bruce Smith. Standing 6 feet 4 inches and weighing over 270 pounds, he combined the agility of a linebacker with the power of a bulldozer. Offensive coordinators across the country began having nightmares about game planning against this defensive end who seemed to teleport past blockers and arrive at the quarterback like an unstoppable missile. His senior season at Virginia Tech became the stuff of legend. He recorded 22 sacks in 1984, won the Outland Trophy as the nation's top lineman, and finished his career with 46 sacks, still a Hokies record. Sack after sack, tackle after tackle, Bruce dominated games in ways that left crowds speechless and opponents demoralized. He wasn't just playing football, he was redefining what it meant to rush the passer. By the time the 1985 NFL Draft arrived, there was no debate. The Buffalo Bills held the #1 pick, and Bruce Smith was their choice. Buffalo in 1985 was a city hungry for football excellence. The Bills had struggled for years, but with Bruce Smith anchoring their defense, everything was about to change. From his very first practice, teammates and coaches knew they had acquired something special. This wasn't just another first-round pick. This was a game changer who would elevate everyone around him. The NFL learning curve is steep and unforgiving, but Bruce Smith attacked professional football with the same relentless approach that had made him dominant in college. Veteran offensive linemen who had been protecting quarterbacks for years suddenly found themselves overwhelmed by this rookie's combination of power moves and lightning-quick first step. By his third season in 1987, Bruce had already broken out with 12 sacks, earning All-Pro honors and a trip to the Pro Bowl. But individual success was never enough for Bruce Smith. He dreamed bigger. He wanted championships. And in Buffalo, those dreams seemed closer to reality with each passing season. The Bills were building something special, combining Bruce's defensive dominance with an explosive offense led by Jim Kelly, Thurman Thomas, and Andre Reed. The late 1980s and early 1990s became the golden era of Buffalo Bills football, and Bruce Smith was the foundation upon which everything was built. His pass rush didn't just disrupt opposing offenses, it demoralized them. Quarterbacks began hearing footsteps that weren't there. Offensive coordinators spent entire weeks game planning specifically to slow down number 78, often sacrificing their entire offensive philosophy in the process. Then came the Super Bowl years. 4 straight AFC championships, 4 trips to the biggest stage in professional sports. And through it all, Bruce Smith was the constant, the leader, the player who elevated his game when the stakes were highest. In 1990, he won his first NFL Defensive Player of the Year award after posting 19 sacks. He would capture the award again in 1996, proving his dominance spanned nearly a decade. While the Bills fell short of ultimate victory in those Super Bowls, Bruce's individual performances were nothing short of heroic. The physical toll of playing defensive end in the NFL would break most men, but Bruce Smith seemed to draw strength from adversity. Double teams became standard operating procedure for opposing offenses. Triple teams weren't uncommon. Holding penalties became part of the game plan because sometimes that was the only way to slow him down. Through it all, Bruce maintained his excellence, his leadership, and his unwavering commitment to being the best version of himself. Injuries tested his resolve repeatedly. Knee surgeries, ankle problems, and the accumulated damage of hundreds of NFL games would have ended lesser careers. But Bruce Smith wasn't built like other players. His dedication to conditioning, his meticulous preparation, and his sheer force of will allowed him to continue dominating long after others would have retired. As his career progressed into the late 1990s, Bruce faced new challenges. The Bills rebuilt around him, but his individual excellence never wavered. He continued rewriting the record books, chasing the all-time sack record with the determination that had defined his entire career. Each sack brought him closer to NFL immortality. The transition to Washington for his final seasons provided new motivation. Playing for his hometown team, Bruce proved that age was just a number. He still posted 58 sacks in 4 seasons with Washington, while mentoring a new generation of defenders and continuing his pursuit of history. Then came the moment that defined a career. Sack number 200, the all-time NFL record. As Bruce Smith brought down yet another quarterback, he had officially become the most prolific pass rusher in league history. The celebration was brief. Champions don't rest on their laurels. Retirement brought reflection on a career that redefined defensive football. Hall of Fame induction in 2009 was inevitable, but it represented more than individual achievement. Bruce Smith had become a symbol of excellence, perseverance, and the power of unwavering dedication to craft. In 2019, he was named to the NFL 100 All-Time Team, cementing his place among the greatest players in history. Today, Bruce Smith's legacy extends far beyond statistics and accolades. 11 Pro Bowls, 8 first-team All-Pro selections, 2-time Defensive Player of the Year, and 200 sacks, more than any man who has ever played the game. He represents the truth that greatness isn't given. It's earned through daily commitment to excellence. His influence on future generations of pass rushers continues as young players study his techniques and try to capture even a fraction of his dominance. The boy from Norfolk became the man who changed football forever. Bruce Smith didn't just accumulate sacks, he accumulated respect, admiration, and a legacy that will endure as long as the game is played.